everyone. Today I've made something really exciting. I've made a reading den. You can make a reading den at home too, using under a table, some chairs, some duvets, some blankets, and then you can read a story to somebody in your house and get them to read one to you. How exciting! I wonder if you've guessed what story I'm going to be reading today. Yes, you're right, it's Cinderella. Cinderella is a traditional tale, which means it's a very, very, very old story, and it's been retold by different people. So there's not an author as such, but this version is by Miles Kelly. Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a young girl called Cinderella. She lived with her mean stepmother and her two stepsisters. She worked hard all day long, and at night she slept by the fireside in the ashes. One day, a letter arrived from the palace. The prince was holding a ball and everyone was invited. Cinderella's stepmother said to her, "You cannot go. You must stay by her at home and mind the fires." On the day of the ball, Cinderella helped her stepsisters get ready. "Have fun at home," they teased. Poor Cinderella watched the carriage drive away, then sat down, almost in tears. "I wish I could go to the ball," she said. Suddenly, a kind-looking old lady appeared. She had glittery wings and a wand. "Hello, Cinderella," she said. "I'm your fairy godmother, and I will grant you a wish. You shall go to the ball." Cinderella's fairy godmother smiled and said, "First, we need to get you to the palace. Fetch the largest pumpkin from the vegetable patch." She waved her wand and the pumpkin became a carriage. "Now you need some horses and a driver to take you to the palace," said the fairy godmother. And in 2 flicks of her wand, 4 mice became 4 horses and a rat became a coachman. "Now, for the most important part," said Cinderella's fairy godmother, "your gown." She twirled her wand, and when Cinderella looked down, she was wearing a beautiful dress and sparkling glass slippers. Cinderella's fairy godmother said she was ready for the ball, but she must be home by midnight. The spell will end as the clock strikes 12. When Cinderella arrived at the palace, everyone turned to look at her. "Who is that beautiful young lady?" they asked. Nobody recognised her, not even her stepsisters. The prince danced with Cinderella all evening. She was enjoying herself so much that she didn't notice the time. Suddenly, the clock began to strike 12. Cinderella ran from the palace, but in her haste, she lost one of her glass slippers. When Cinderella returned to her carriage, the spell had broken. She ran home quickly to make sure she was home before her stepsisters. The prince, meanwhile, could not forget Cinderella. He had fallen in love and had declared that he would marry the owner of the glass slippers. He visited every house in the land, but had no luck. Finally, he arrived at Cinderella's house. "This glass slipper belongs to the girl I danced with at the ball," the prince said. "I must find her." Cinderella's stepsisters invited the prince inside. Then they tried to force their big, ugly feet into the slipper, but with no luck. The prince asked if there was any other young ladies at the house. "Of course not," said the stepsisters. Just then, Cinderella stepped into the room. But before she could speak, her stepmother said, "Not her! She works in the kitchen. She didn't go to the ball." But the prince asked Cinderella to sit down on the chair. She placed her foot into the glass slipper and it fitted perfectly. Everyone was amazed. Suddenly the prince recognised Cinderella as the girl from the ball and he was overjoyed. "I have found my bride at last," he cried. "Will you marry me?" Cinderella said yes, and they lived happily ever after. The end.